The purpose of this tutorial is to demonstrate how T accounts work. And so we have all these blank T accounts right now. We have these 11 transactions. We have the previous month's balance sheet, and so these numbers are where the T accounts start. And then we're going to create a trial balance, so that's blank for the following month. Notice this is a balance sheet for August, so we're going to create the balance sheet for September. And before we do that, after we finish the T accounts, we create a trial balance first, and then the balance sheet. So we do need all of these amounts to start the T accounts out, and I have a copy of that document right here. So these numbers are where all the T accounts will start. Now, assets are normally debit balance accounts, so all these will have balances that start on the left. The liabilities and owner equity are normally credit balance accounts, so their opening balance would normally be on the right side, the credit side. So bank starts at 45,780, so we will put 45,780 here. We have two accounts receivable. HGDHS owes the company $2,500. This is a company that sells art supplies, so they're selling them to a high school or a college. And so this accounts receivable is $2,500. Maine College owes this company $1,235. Supplies, the company has at the beginning here $32,700 worth of art supplies and $8,740 worth of equipment. Liabilities, the company owes Painting Paradise $8,460, so we put $8,460 here. Owes Drawing R Us $5,310, so we'll put $5,310 here. And the easel store owes them $9,325, so $9,325 goes there. The bank loan, we owe the bank $37,800. And our Oak has $30,060 in capital invested in the company. T accounts don't need dollar signs, don't need commas, don't need a decimal unless you want to get into cents. So you would normally leave the numbers just like this. So let's take a look at the transactions. Purchased $1,240 of paints from Painting Paradise. Now, on credit means the bank account is not affected. We're going to pay later. That's what on credit means. So this company already owes Painting Paradise $8,460, and that's a credit balance account. So they're going to owe $1,240 more. So we would put $1,240 right there. Now, you never ever have just one entry. So we've increased the liability by $1,240. So what would change is either another liability could go down or an asset could go up. So if the liability increased $1,240, then the asset that changes is this company now has more art supplies, more supplies. So the $1,240 would go right here. This company is in the business of selling art supplies, so if they buy paints, that would be called a supply. So that would change by $1,240. So that's the balancing thing right there. Next, the owner invested $10,000 of his own money in the business, which would mean that it would go into the bank account. So we'll put $10,000 there. And then, so in this case, there's going to be more owners. This person's going to have more owner's equity, so we put $10,000 there. So the owner's equity increased by $10,000 and the bank increased by $10,000. Again, that's the balancing thing. Two things have to change, or there could be more than two, but often it's two. Harding Gordon District High School purchased $575 worth of supplies. So our supplies are going to go down $575. And they purchased it on credit. So the bank account doesn't change, but their accounts, the accounts receivable, their accounts payable, or our accounts receivable is going to change. And so they owe $2,500 at the beginning of this. They're going to owe $575 more. So we put $575 right there. Paid $800 of the account payable to Painting Paradise. So this is Painting Paradise's account payable. This company owes them these two amounts. So we're going to pay off part of that debt. So this is going to go down $800. So the company owes them $800 less, and of course, in order to pay them, it has to come out of bank. So we put $800 as a credit to bank. So bank goes down $800, and the liability goes down $800. Purchased a computer, which we'll call equipment, for $1,130 and paid cash. So $1,130 would be a credit, so the bank account is going down $1,130. I clicked the debit side first, but it's a credit. And so the equipment is going to go up $1,130. So notice in this case, for the balancing part, one asset went down $1,130, another asset went up $1,130, so it's still balanced. Cash sales for the month amounted to $6,375. So cash is going to go up $6,375. Now, in order to balance this, the owner's equity is going to increase. The selling stuff, that's the business, what the business is in, that's how one of the ways, or the main way, the owner gets more equity in the company. So owner's equity is going to increase $6,375. Paid $5,000 cash for this month's rent. So that's something that would decrease, that's an expense. So that would decrease owner's equity by $5,000. So it's going to go down. Now, it says cash. That doesn't mean that the company, that somebody in the company went to the bank and took out $5,000 in cash and walked over to another company and plunked it down on the desk. It could, but in a normal situation, that might mean writing a check and sending it in the mail for $5,000 or some kind of electronic transfer. So they're paying it cash, so it's coming out of the bank account of $5,000. So again, that's the balance thing. The owner's equity went down $5,000. The bank account went down $5,000. Sold $1,380 of art supplies to Maine College on credit. So their accounts, the accounts receivable to them would increase $1,380 right there. And of course, the supplies are what's going down. So $1,380. The supplies are decreasing. So again, here's the balancing part. An asset increased $1,380 and a different asset decreased by $1,380 to balance things out. Harding-Gordon District High School paid $1,500 of their accounts receivable. So they owe the company a certain amount of money. And so they owe the $2,500 and the $575. So they're paying off $1,500 of that. So the accounts receivable is going to go down $1,500. And to balance that, you see they're giving our Oaks Art Supplies $1,500, which is going to go in the bank account. So we'll put $1,500 there. So again, here's the balancing thing. One asset went down $1,500, another asset went up $1,500. Number 10, bank service charges total $425, and which was paid out of the business bank account. So the bank account's going down $425, and so that's something that would affect owner's equity. Owner's equity would go down $425. Borrowed $20,000 from the bank and place it directly in the bank account. So the bank account is going to go up $20,000, and the bank loan is going to go up $20,000. We borrowed money from the bank, so the bank loan is going to get bigger. And so that's all the transactions. Now what we do is we total them up. So I want to put the total of all the debits right here. So I'll total all those. One of the simplest ways to do that is to use the auto sum figure, or you could actually just type, and we're adding A4 to A8. So it's A4 colon A8. And the same with these. So here we would equals the sum of these three, well, actually, you can't see that number right now. There's a fourth number there. So B4 to B7. And then notice that this number is, of course, a lot bigger than this number. So the total of the total new balance on the bank account would be this 83,655 minus the 73,55. So we'll put that here. So equals, and it would be A9 minus B8. And so 76,300, sorry, is the new balance for the bank account. So this is A14 plus A15. And this one here is actually just the same, equals B14. And so again, the balance is this one minus this one. One way you can do it is just click on the cell. The only thing is I can't click on the cell right here, so I can go plus, and then it's A21. And B21. And so it'll be this one minus this one. And so we're actually just summing the two of those. So, and then it's D15. And the same with the equipment. I'll sum those two, put that below it. I'm clicking on the auto sum feature. You can't see me clicking on it here, but that's what I'm doing. So equals, that's H7 minus, oh, I didn't do the total. Well, the total is going to be G6 when I do it. So let's now I just got an error here because I actually wanted to put here the 800. And actually, I noticed my formula equals G6. It actually should be G5 because G6 is the same as G5. So this comes down here. You can't actually have a cell equal itself. You get a circular reference warning. If you heard a beep beep, that's what that was. So basically, that's 800. I added these two to get the 9700, and this 8900 is that minus the 800. So that's what goes in there. This one here is just that amount. Same here. Just bring that amount down. I'm going to sum the two of those and put that right there. And I'll sum the two of these and put that right below there. And the same with the, when you click on that auto sum, it looks like a sigma. You highlight what you want to add and click on it, and it puts it in the cell below. So here we would put this one minus this, and then that's the new owner's equity balance. And so I've done all of those. So now I want to make my trial balance, and then of course if everything balances, I can make my new balance sheet. So for the trial balance, right now it's blank, but I want to put all these in the trial balance, and then I'll carry all the figures over. So I'm going to stop the presentation for a minute because you don't need to see me typing those all out, and I'll resume it in a moment. So here's all the accounts. So what I'm basically going to do is copy all these amounts over. So bank is 76,300. So I would go over my trial balance, and in here I would put 76,300. And back to the T account. The accounts receivable for HGDHS is 1575. So I would put 1575 here. And I would just keep on doing that the entire way through. Now that I have all the numbers in, and notice it's proper format to have a $ on the top one and to have commas in here, so that's the proper number format, and the .00 or any cents you have. And notice that these are all the liabilities and the owner's equity. They're credit balance accounts, so that's why those numbers are in the right-hand column. So this whole sum here should equal this whole sum here. Remember, assets should equal the total of all the liabilities and owner's equity. So for the total here, I would add these. So right in here, I'll type sum, and what I'm adding is D7 to D11. So right in there, I'll type D7 colon D11 and close the bracket, and that's the total. And right in here, I'm going to add these four. So I could use the auto sum, or again, I could just go equals the sum, and it's E12 colon E16. And of course, they're the same. Now, if they're not the same, then what you should do is go back and look at your T accounts, and maybe you missed a number. Maybe that's all it is, or you put a number in the debit side when it should have been the credit side. So those are common reasons why these don't equal one another. It's common format to put a dark line on the top. So if we go to borders, we'll put that right on the top, and then a thick line on the bottom. So that's the common format to put that in. So now that these balance, we could take these numbers and go to the September balance sheet and put all those numbers in, and then we get the balance sheet. So I'm going to pause the while I put all those numbers in. And so there's all the numbers typed in. So again, we would total this, and that's the total assets. So equals, and it's the sum of the numbers in the column D from D8 to D13. So D8 colon D13. Hit the enter. And of course, that should be the same balance as we had in the trial balance. And we would total all these and put that sum right there. I'm just going to use the auto sum. That's a quick way to do it. And then, of course, we add the total liabilities and the owner's equity and get this total here. So equals this plus this. I could use the sum figure, but I'm only adding two things. And of course, those two are the same, so it balances, and of course it should. If those aren't the same, then check out and figure out why. It could be as simple as, something was entered as a debit when it should have been a credit or something like that, or you typed a number wrong. And that's the end of the tutorial.